I know that term in general, if people are not in the construction industry or not even in the roofing side of things, they may not understand what exactly that means. So, could you simply explain that for us, and then kind of go into a little bit more about the building forensics and how you guys use it?
Yes. So building forensics, simply put, is where, construction and detective work come together. The way that I always viewed it was you really have to kind of look like, work as a general practitioner in the medical field and get your diagnosis, get an understanding of how the building's operating first and foremost. And you do that through a line of questioning, just like you would, you know, you fill out your paperwork before you go to the doctor. Have you had any of these symptoms? Yes, no, 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 no. Well, that gives you a baseline understanding of what the building's going through when you go through those questions. And there's a bunch of variables that go into that, right? Just depending on what the issue that the patient is experiencing. So we go through that line of questioning with them. We walk us through what's been going on with the building. Typically for us, it's leaks is what we're dealing with some kind of water infiltration, and or damage to the building where it's deteriorating, also caused by some sort of weather event or chronic weather events that they have. So after that, really what it is field investigation. We typically do we do an investigative tests with them, whether that's doing core cuts, doing mock-ups, doing test pits, for below grade type stuff, cutting out brick or any kind of masonry. And then what we try to do is we try to limit our footprint and any damage or really just any interruption to the business, and then get kind of a clear sign of the condition of the building and what's going on with it. So that way we can make a prior diagnosis or a proper diagnosis, excuse me, design a scope of work from there, and then present it and propose to do the work.
Okay. Now, when someone calls, or let's just say someone calls in, they have a commercial building, they're having a leak or an issue. Is it most of the time you're getting calls when after the fact something has already happened, or do you guys do some preventative maintenance on roofing as well?
That's a great question. We do a lot of preventative maintenance. Alan, who is the president and CEO of the company, his claim to fame is that we were the first company to actually do maintenance in Texas on roofs. And he was the president of the NTRCA at the time. And he said that he had several competitors and other roofers basically laugh him off the stage when he talked about actually doing maintenance on the roofs. And a couple of people said, "You don't need to be president," thinking like that. You repair it, and you replace it. That's all you do. You don't go and do maintenance. So yeah, we are big on maintenance. Obviously, the manufacturers require it now, um, but we also try to be preventative on the waterproofing side as well. It's a little bit trickier because it's a little bit more involved sometimes. However, we'd like to present our clients with a plan and give them a plan as much as we can, because especially on the roof side, it's a lot easier because typically it's leaking on somebody's head and they got a problem. And like I said, it's now a puddle on the floor. They got an issue with it. On the walls, you don't really see it. It can be more of these hidden issues. But what that develops into is sick building syndrome. You start developing mold or anything in that wall cavity. You get spalling on the concrete or masonry. You start having bricks falling out, you get spalling because rebar is exposed and now it's swelled 7 times, and now you have hazards and whatnot. So we try to give them a plan, because on the wall side, it's such a bigger surface area that typically what I've found is that owners aren't typically prepared to restore all sides of the building all at once. So we can phase it out or do something like that to where it's a little bit more cost effective in their budget, and a little bit less disruptive to their business over that time as well.
Which in turn, if you're doing the maintenance over time, you're going to be able to prepare for that a little bit better.
100%. Yeah, you're going to have a better idea of what's going on site. You're going to have more contact with the client and whatnot, have an understanding of what their needs are, what they're going through, any blackout dates in their schedule and whatnot. All those things come into play when trying to relieve the pain.